The water tower of Southern Africa is in danger of drying up, and we need your help to make sure this doesn't happen. High up in the Maluti Mountains of Lesotho, more than 3,000 meters above sea level, lies a vast and unique highland wetlands ecosystem that is more important than you can imagine. This is the source of the entire Orange Sinku River Basin, which from here fans out like a network of life-giving arteries flowing almost 1 million square kilometers from Lesotho across South Africa, Botswana, and parts of Namibia. The Orange Sinku Basin supports more than 19 million people, from smallholder farmers to the very biggest agricultural concerns, from entrepreneurs to SMEs and large corporations, from industry to energy. Its water is vital to agriculture, as well as to the food security and livelihoods of the communities within the basin, especially in Lesotho, where river catchments are directly responsible for 22% of the country's income and an incredible 30% of the country's employment. Even outside of Lesotho, millions rely on this important water resource. In South Africa, the Gauteng province, which generates up to 40% of the country's national income, is heavily dependent on the Orange Sinku River Basin for its agriculture, industry, and drinking water. Botswana is another important water transfer recipient, and the estuary ecosystem in Namibia wouldn't survive without this water. But severe catchment degradation is threatening to disrupt the flow, impacting livelihoods and national economic gains in Lesotho and causing water insecurity in South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. Every hour, Lesotho loses the equivalent of 300 lorry loads of topsoil. This is due to erosion and the overuse of land for the planting of crops and grazing of animals by a growing number of people with no other livelihoods. Climate change and increasing weather extremes have further aggravated the situation. A loss of water supply schemes due to catchment degradation would shrink Lesotho's economy and cripple communities and businesses along the nearly 1 million square kilometers of the Orange Sinku catchment. We are facing a very real and immediate threat to our region's water security and economic growth. But there are many people hard at work to address these complex issues. In Sesotho, ReNOKA means we are a river. ReNOKA is a citizen movement and a national program for integrated catchment management in Lesotho and the Orange Sinku Basin. This important partnership between governments, private businesses, and ordinary citizens is committed to managing catchments sustainably for water security and economic resilience for the people who depend on this resource for their lives and livelihoods. Like the water itself, the ReNOKA movement starts in Lesotho and expands to all countries in the Orange Sinku River Basin. Its vision is to build a sense of shared ownership and protection of the natural resources. ReNOKA aims to put this vision into practice through a transboundary multi-stakeholder water stewardship partnership which fosters collective action. ReNOKA's integrated planning for catchment management involves collecting information about the geography and geology of the area, the crucial ecosystems and their services, land and water uses and degradation, and the effects of climate change on catchments and the people who depend on them. This integrated plan is what allows us to take well-informed decisions and coordinate action to preserve our basin. Through wetland protection and rehabilitation, sustainable grazing and agricultural practices, erosion control, gully retentions, and reforestation. But we cannot do it alone. We call on the governments, private sectors and civil societies of Lesotho and Southern Africa to partner with the ReNOKA movement, to contribute, whether financially or in kind, through technical know-how, resources or any other avenue. To collaborate across borders in a multi-stakeholder approach, to plan and implement catchment rehabilitation and management measures to the benefit of Lesotho, the Orange Sinku Basin and the entire Southern African region. Join the ReNOKA movement. Visit www.renoka.org and get involved to protect our and your most precious resource.